Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Bits and Banter. And as usual, we are gathered here to discuss last night's match, which was between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Rajasthan Royals. Sunrisers Hyderabad finally ended its five-match losing streak as they managed to beat Rajasthan Royals by 8 wickets. Chasing a formidable 165 for victory, SRH actually cantered to the finish line in 18.3 overs thanks to smart round by Kane, Williamson, and Jason Roy, the last name being a replacement for David Warner, a legend in SRH colors in his own right. His being dropped was one of the talking points of the night. Warner did not even make it to the ground. The other players who were left in the hotel were Shahbaz, Nadeem, and Kedar Jadhav. Anyway, with this win, SRH are still in with a mathematical chance to qualify for the finals. Playoffs, but it doesn't look like happening. But for RR, of course, it still has its chances. But this defeat has made life difficult for itself. Good morning, JD. What do you have to?
Good
As
morning.
a RR backer, what do you have to say for this loss? It's all over to you.
RR, for that matter, has had a mixed season. They've hardly had one or two odd players who performed, and that's what shows up in the scorecard as well. Only two players who scored runs, and they are. I think they are kind of a confused lot because they're not. They've got Chris Morris and they're not playing him. His is one of the costliest purchase. Then Liam Livingstone has been disappointing. But then Ewin Lewis played a really great game, and next game he did not play. So I think this chopping and changing doesn't really work with the core of the team, and that's what shows up in the
Yeah, I
scorecard as
like
well.
the word that you used, confused. That is what is coming across. You're exactly right. And they are because of since their overseas players are not clicking, they are overly dependent on Sanju Samson, isn't it?
Exactly.
Sanju Samson
So
played a great knock.
he's the only player who is performing, and he's unfortunately he's also the captain. So there's no way out for him. There's no hiding for him. He has to even if he plays a great knock, he has to still go ahead and face the brunt, which is really bad. I feel for him at times because that ways he's got an added pressure. Had he been in a team like SRH or a Bangalore, I'm sure he would have had a different sort of career. But I'm now afraid that he would only live as an IPL legend. And
It's a very good point. Very good point. Because if he had been in a different team, he would have gotten his chances. He would have had more chances. Not that he didn't make it
exactly.
to the Indian shorter version team, but still, in a better team, his chances would have been greater. But one thing,
Definitely.
let's still stick with the RR. And one of the slight better points of RR this season has been the revival of form in SSB Jaishwal because he had a very poor 2020 in UAE last season. This season he has been slightly better off, at least in the evidence of the last three matches. He's been slightly more consistent than he used to be.
Definitely, he's looked very confident. His the way he's playing is different. We are seeing two different players. It seems that you're looking at a different player who played earlier and now. There's a difference in confidence. There's a difference in the way he plays right now. So I see that he's a good prospect for the Indian cricket team.
Oh, you think he'll make it to the national team?
Again, out of the crores of Indians, there are only a handful of them who play. So I think he should get one or two odd chances, but then that's what he would deserve because he's pretty young right now.
I'm not saying. I'm just asking you. He is a good prospect, but he needs to tighten up his game. But he is good.
Definitely.
He's certainly good. He has obviously played for the Indian under-19 team. So with few tinkering in here and there, you should probably make it. You're right. I'm just picking your brains. But one thing the Rajasthan Royals were slightly hamstrung was the absence of Karthik. He was unfortunately injured, so they had to go back to Unadkar. And yesterday, 160 plus score is obviously, except for CSK in the match against KKR, it has been defended by every other team. So it was not,
Exactly.
it could not have been an easy chase, but somehow RR bowlers were slightly off color.
Also, what I feel is that Jason Roy had a point to prove. He had been warming the bench, and you see a great player striking. David Warner, whatever said and done, he's a great player, servant of the game, and he was struggling so much, and I was surprised that it took so long for Hyderabad to take that call, and that has costed them the season actually. Had they took the decision and after one or two odd games they kind of rotated the opening batsman, that would have served a much better thing. And then he's come in, he's proved his point, and you see the result, the confident start that he gave, and then even Kane Williamson chipped in, and they kind of spoiled the party for Rajasthan Royals.
Exactly. I mean, you're right, because Jason Roy, of course, he was making his debut for SRH. So he, as you rightly said, he had a point of view. But David Warner, I mean, it was time we asked the question as David Warner played his last game for SRH in SRH colors, because he, I mean, after the match, he kind of, there was an Instagram exchange where he said it's very unlikely he's going to get back to the team. I mean, words to the, I mean, he didn't say it in as many words, because it's unlikely he's going to come to the ground, because yesterday he was left back in the hotel, and he says that is going to continue. So SRH has clearly made a decision, and Trevor Bayliss, he also, I mean, the SRH coach, he also suggested that he cannot comment on the future of Warner in Hyderabad, but for this season, it looks like the curtains for him. I mean, that's slightly unfortunate, because as you rightly said, he was a true legend for SRH. I mean, they won in 2016 because of his exploits, and he scored more than 4,000 runs for SRH while batting, and he was a phenomenal presence. I mean, this season has been total failure for him, because he lost his captaincy. He was dropped in the first leg. He got back to the team in the second leg, and again he has been dropped. Isn't it?
So again, that's what the game is, right? It's a great leveler. We had CSK lagging, at the bottom last season, and this time they're at the top. And Mumbai is sort of again after Chennai, Mumbai is also a go-to team wherein it's sort of confirmed that they'll play the playoffs, and they are at like what, seventh this time now. So yeah. which shows that this is a great leveler, and you can't take things for granted, and until you keep on playing your A game, you can't be there in the team always.
Rightly said.
Until you are a MS Dhoni or a Sachin Tendulkar.
Yeah. I mean, MS Dhoni is the kind of elephant in the room with his batting, because he's kind of already matured to the mentor role within the CSK ranks itself, because he's not anyway contributing with his bat. Because it was one of those talking points where whether he should have come ahead of Karan and Jadeja. Of course, he didn't stick there for long, so it kind of helped the CSK, but that's a story for another day. One thing that was good for SRH, even though another good thing for SRH was Bhuvanesh Kumar's bowling. I mean, though he went for a few runs at the start, his 17th and 19th over was pretty spot on.
So those were amazing Yorkers that he bowled. He nailed them perfectly, even though Sanju Samson tried to improvise, but then he could not get him up. And Sanju Samson was in sort of a form wherein you could see a Rohit Sharma playing, effortless and lazy elegance that they say, and still he wasn't able to connect to Bhuvi's balls, which is really I think the pick of the things for apart from Jason Roy, pick of the things for SRH.
See, all things considered, four teams are kind of bunched up at 8 points, right? So because you have three teams right at the start, because DC and CSK are way too ahead. RCB is kind of at third place. You have Mumbai Indians, Rajasthan Royals, Punjab, and KKR all bunched together with the same points. So SRH is, I mean, mathematically they still have a chance, but I kind of write them off for this season. So how do you? I
won't even say that they have a chance, because they are at 4. They are there with 4 points. The rest all of them have 8 points. So I think they are sort of out of the tournament this time.
Mathematical chance. I mean, if you play the teams around in a certain day, they can sneak in.
Exactly. True.
So we have a good match in our prospect. We have a double header, and the first match should be exciting, because DC, I mean, it is at the top. Yes, it has nothing to lose. It can play its game, and KKR, in its current form and in its current mentality, wants to go all guns blazing. So how do you expect the game to pan out?
I think both the games today will sort of confirm us who will be the other two teams in the top 4. I think this is what my calculation is. But then strange things have happened in the game of cricket, so we'll have to wait till the top four are finalized. But then these like crucial game today, or both
Yeah.
of them.
But what do you make of KKR's approach? Because it is going for leather right from the start. It's a risky gambit, but it has worked for its coach, personal level for McCullum. And Owen Morgan, for as an England captain, has used it in its the shorter formats for England. So it has. I mean, England has won the World Cup with this approach. So it has had its success. But can KKR? I mean, because Russell's worry. I mean, injury is a worry. So that is a bit of a problem. Without Russell's presence, this whole strategy can be slightly risky.
This is definitely at risk when it comes to Delhi Capitals, because they have Nokia and Rabada, who are like tier away space bowlers, and they've been bowling really fast. So hitting them out of park from ball one is really difficult. And again, as you said, it's a iffy strategy, and this could be the game which could expose this strategy.
Yeah. Okay. So on that note, I think we have covered
But
all
then
our
that said, I'm looking forward to the new left-handed Sehwag, and who's been playing those amazing shots, and
Yeah.
Venki.
Winky. I mean, he has had two good batting games against CSK. He couldn't come quite good with the bat, but he was a surprise packet as a bowler. That was interesting.
Abdul Samad and Venki Iyer, I think are the two players to watch out for. When it comes to lower batting order for the Indian team, but then both of them have a long way to go. And I think Venkatesh Iyer, who with that one inning and with that one particular shot in the off that he played, the punch shot.
Yeah, back foot punch.
Yeah, exactly, back foot punch. That reminded me of Sehwag, like, and then the sound that came out of his bat, that put him way in front of Abdul Samad, and I hope that he gets a chance to play for the country as well.
Yeah, on the note, we'll wind up. Thanks, JD. Thanks for turning up so early in the morning. So we'll catch up tomorrow. I mean, we'll catch up this evening itself, because we have a evening match. So on the note, we'll wind up. Good day, folks.
Okay. Thanks. Take care and stay safe. Thank you.
Yeah.